some people stress about introducing a new significant other to their loved ones. Legendary primatologist Jane Goodall, 83, recalls the hazards of her future husband meeting the tribe of chimpanzees she was studying in the 1960s in Tanzania's Gombe National Park. "The chimps would accept me and run away from strangers," says Goodall, though luckily, Hugo was not big and tall and threatening. He spoke quietly. Hugo van Lawick, a National Geographic cameraman, and Goodall weren't involved yet. He had been assigned by the magazine to document this young woman living among the apes. His newly discovered archival footage of Goodall's earliest days with the primates is the subject of the documentary Jane, opening Friday, from director Brett Morgen, Cobain, Montage of Heck. The then 26-year-old Goodall had been sent by her boss, paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey, to do the first extensive study of wild chimpanzees. She had no scientific background, as she'd been unable to afford college. But Leakey wanted an unbiased observer, and Goodall, who worked as his secretary, had the qualities he was looking for. She loved animals and was incredibly patient, the latter quality being essential for spending months on end waiting for chimps to let you approach them. Modal trigger. Goodall formed a close bond with this chimp named Fifi. National Geographic creative Hugo van Lawick. "I thought the chimps are going to be scared of Hugo, so I built these little stands out of palm fronds for him," says Goodall. "They would come through and I'd be sitting outside and he'd be in his little stand, filming." Gradually, the apes warmed to van Lawick's presence. "I remember a chimp coming up behind him and stealing his camera bag," she says, with a laugh. Goodall warmed to van Lawick too. The couple eventually married and had a son, though they would divorce later when their careers diverged. She spent decades in the wild studying chimpanzees, becoming the world's top expert on them. In the early days, she was the first to observe one using a tool, a blade of grass used to collect termites, which upended the scientific community's belief that humans were the only species to use tools. These days, she travels the world advocating for conservancy and, occasionally, consulting for Hollywood. She was an advisor on chimp behavior in this year's War for the Planet of the Apes, which she calls a very powerful story. Warfare, she discovered back in the 60s, is also not unique to humans. At one point in Jane, her chimp tribe fights another. "It made them seem more like us than I knew before," she says. "I thought they were nicer than we are, but it turns out they can be violent and brutal as well. But I don't believe they are capable of evil. That's only us."